Hey, what's going on, everyone? I'm out here walking my dog, and I wanted to answer a question for us, which is the suffering in your life a result of punishment from God for specific sins you've committed? And the passage that I want to point us to is that of John 9, where the disciples had a similar question for Jesus. They saw a blind beggar outside of the temple, blind from birth, and they asked Jesus, who sinned, this man or his parents, that he was born blind? And Jesus had a very astonishing answer. He said, neither, but this was so that the works of God might be displayed in him. Essentially, that the glory of God might be shown through this man's weakness. So the teaching here is clear, and the biblical teaching on suffering is also clear, that all suffering in life is indeed due to sin in general, because Adam, through the fall, brought sin into the world, and sin brought evil and suffering into the world. And that's in a general sense. But here it is, and here's Jesus' answer. Not all sin is due to, or not all suffering is due to particular sins you have committed. So for example, if you smoke for 50 years, then you probably will merit the suffering of lung cancer. So that is a result of your sin. But if there's a tragic accident, you're born blind, or like the flood that we saw in Kerr, Texas, that was a seemingly random event, tragic event. Jesus is saying, no, these people weren't worse sinners, that they merited this type of suffering. That's not the way that you think about these tragic accidents. And instead, the way that we should think about it is that God does want to use these tragic situations to bring about good for his glory. And in John 9, Jesus healed the man. He gave him his sight back, and his glory was shown through the man. So I want to ask you today, what suffering are you going through that God wants to use to make you more like Christ and to point you further to the gospel of his Son?